This video is about music players and audio electronics. So I start where I first encountered music players. That was in the toy room. And here's an example of a recording device, not a recording device, a music player that has no electronics. And this is fascinating because we can get sound from just a rotating disc with little grooves on it, a steel needle that rests on those grooves, and when those grooves vibrate, they produce a sound out of here. The sound comes out of these little holes, and that's because there's a little diaphragm in there connected to the steel needle. Well, that's great, but you can't amplify it, and the sound is awful. It's just no good. But for a little kid, that's just the greatest thing in the world. Here it is, the early 60s, and Dad decides to get a console stereo so that he can keep up with the Joneses, or whoever the neighbor's name is. And he gets most console stereos had a left speaker and a right speaker, and they're wide enough so that you get some stereo separation. But Dad's cheap. His didn't look quite like this. The cabinet didn't look quite as nice. Instead, it had a big opening for the left-hand speaker here, and then on the side of the cabinet, would be facing this wall, is the right channel. Goofy setup, right? But it's cheaper to make. So anyway, that's what we had there. And what would I do in the early 60s that related to this? Well, I would play records. And one of the records that I liked was called Be Your Own Conductor. And that involved classical music, and it came with a little baton, and you could stand up there in front of the stereo and act like a musical conductor. And that was just the greatest thing in the world. And then, of course, you could put on other albums of all sorts of things. Maybe they're Western themes, all the music from the different Westerns that were on in the 60s, or who knows what. In fact, as time moved on, it came to be that Chubby Checkers was the great thing with the twist. So the neighbor girl brings over her Chubby Checkers record with a twist music. Let's do the twist and stuff like that. So that's what I remember, and that was, now I didn't really get into what was inside this box. But I did know that there was this piece of paper that was taped on the inside of the back that had some squiggles on it. And those squiggles had to be the schematic for that, because if you wanted to get it fixed, and you didn't just replace it, no, not like today, you didn't just replace it, you had it fixed. And this had tubes in it, just like that tube radio thing that I described. And what happens is that you need a schematic to show what's going on. Now, was this just a record player? Oh no, it's much more than a record player. It's a stereo FM receiver. So let's see if we can get a picture that looks similar to that stereo FM receiver. Okay, this gives you a picture of what's inside with the record player. Now, what's this stupid little arm sitting there? And what's this red disc there? What's all this stuff about? Well, in those days you had two types of records. You had your 45 RPM record that was small, it usually only played one song a side, and it had a big hole in the middle, so this fit those kinds of records. And this little arm holds it so you can stack up a bunch of them. So you could play all your top 40 hits on there, and they would, each time you'd have a mechanical system was set up that after the music was done, the arm would move in towards the center, and when it was done, then it would let go of the next record, and that would drop down. So you either had long play records, which were the company Columbia had the long play records and RCA had the 45 format. And the Columbia won out with the long play records. Most people realized it was much better value to have long play records that were 33 1/3 RPM versus the 45 RPM guys here. Now, what's all this garbage over here? Well, this is the stereo tuner. So you got to lift the lid of the thing, and here's the stereo tuner, and here's your different controls. Here's your band switch, AM, FM, and here's the tuning knob, and then you've got bass, treble. Audio electronics is really improved now because we can change the qualities of the music, and now we have that. Now, is that where it stopped? For me? No, because I said this is not good enough.